Hi again, soul friends. It's Win here. Get life flowing. And I don't know about you, but when I have a headache, it's really hard to get life flowing. And so today I thought I'd come and talk about different techniques that I use to help relieve headaches naturally. Um, about 25 years ago, roughly, I was really plagued with just terrible migraines every single day. I'd go to bed with it, I'd wake up with it, I'd go to bed with it, I'd wake up with it. And at that point, the only thing that I found that helped relieve it, not even get rid of it, but relieve it, was something called AC&C, which is aspirin, codeine, and caffeine. And unfortunately, that did a real job on my stomach. It totally wrecked my stomach, leaving me now dealing with gastroesophageal reflux disease. So, needless to say, the last thing I want to do is to take any kind of headache relief pill. So, I really aim for just using anything natural. So, one of the things that we need to be aware of is the fact that our head is the weight of a bowling ball. And, if we're sitting up nice and straight and erect, it's well supported by our skeletal system. However, when we start bringing our head forward, all of a sudden, it's like 10 pounds pulling on the back of our neck. We go back a little bit more forward, 20 pounds, more forward, 30 pounds. So it's really pulling on the back of your neck, just really creating a lot of strain and pressure. So it's really important to make sure that you keep your spine erect. Don't spend too much time. But if you do, just make sure that you alter that by doing some chin tucks, just tucking that chin right in, deep, lifting the crown, and lengthening the cervical vertebrae. Another technique that's really great for headaches for me is just deep breathing. So I just allow myself some quiet space, no surrounding noises, just allowing myself to be by myself and just breathing nice and deep, long breaths into the belly and exhaling fully. And that's going to help reset the nervous system. And often it is a hyperactive nervous system that will send us into a state of a headache. So just really breathing nice and deep and relaxed. And when you're doing those chin tucks as well, don't hold your breath. Make sure that you're breathing, exhaling, while tucking the chin and elevating the crown. Another thing that's helpful is stretching the neck. Several years back, I worked in a physiotherapy as a yoga therapist. That was part of patients' physiotherapy regime. And a lot of them came in with lots of neck and tension and headaches. So there were a number of neck stretches that we did. So one is just bringing your ear to your shoulder and breathing, holding it, holding it, holding it, allowing everything to relax and breathe. And then, of course, you do the other side. Then, from this position, you bring your chin down to your collarbone, and that will get a different part of your neck. And again, breathe for about 20 breaths. Rotate the chin down now and look into your armpit. And breathe, breathe, breathe. And of course, you're going to want to do that on both sides. However, you might find that one side is tighter than the other, so you may want to spend a little bit more time on the tighter side. Another thing that gets tight are the sternocleidomastoid muscles in the front here. For that, it's tipping your ear to the shoulder, rotating your chin to the opposite shoulder, and then tipping your head back. And once again, you're breathing, so you're stretching out all the muscles in here, which tend to also get very tight. They tend to get really short as well with the head forward posture. So a couple of neck stretches to help relieve. Another thing that I do is jaw tension. I tend to clench my jaw a little bit when I get tense. Another thing that I tend to do is not even being consciously aware of it, I'll tend to press my tongue on the roof of my mouth. So we need to relax the tension in our jaw. And one thing that's really great for that is what's called lion's breath. And it looks silly. So you might want to practice this by yourself, but it really, really is effective. And what you do is you actually alternate between pressing your tongue on the roof of your mouth and then doing the lion breath. And to do that, you open your jaw wide, stick your tongue out wide, long, and roll your eyes up. So you're going to do that for probably at least 10 breaths. And quite often what I do between the pressing on the roof and extending the tongue forward is I'll give my jaw a little bit of side-to-side action, maybe even just a little bit of massaging in there, just getting the tense muscles to relax even more. So yes, do that for a bit. And another technique that I use is to relieve eye strain. Especially if you spend a lot of time working on a computer, that tends to be one of the drawbacks, is that we get a lot of eye strain. Or if you do any kind of work where you're doing a lot of writing or reading. So for the eyes, what you do is you're going to look up to the left, really, really hard, looking up really hard, holding that for a few breaths. And remember, again, you're breathing deeply. And then you bring your eyes back to center. And then you're going to look up to the opposite side. Up high, 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 high. Nice deep breaths. And then bring it back to the center. Then you're going to look down to the opposite side. So basically you're creating an X. You're looking up, up, down, down. Always returning to center after every eye stretch. So all the way down, back to center, and then all the way up. Roll those eyes up as high as you can, back to center, and then down as far as you can. Without moving the head, you're really just moving the eyes here. Eyes are moving. And it really is quite easy to fall into holding the breath. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but it's also side to side. So looking as far as you can to the left, back to center, to the right as far as you can. And I'm showing it very quickly. So you're going to hold it for several breaths, nice deep breaths. And then you're going to roll your eyes several times all the way around, and then the opposite direction. Try to get some hair in my eye. So eye rolls are really, really effective for eye strain as well. You can kind of feel around in here, and you'll feel a little bit of a lump. So you can just gently press with your thumbs in here to relieve some eye strain as well. Okay. Another thing that I use for headache relief is acupressure. Now in the web here, you're going to feel around, not in the really thin part, but you're going to go into the thicker, fleshier part, and you're going to feel around until you find a tender spot. And then you're going to press and hold that tender spot. Sometimes you might want to just pulse it. So if you're pulsing it, do it about 100 times. Otherwise, hold continually for a couple of minutes. And then again, you'll do the other side. And you'll also, once again, notice that one side is tighter than the other. So spend more time on the more sensitive side. And again, I can't stress enough, breathe. One thing that I also like to use is lavender and peppermint oil, essential oils. So I'll mix an equal amount of the both and spread them on the back of my neck, my shoulders, the front, my jaw. Keep it away from your eyes though, because it will make your eyes water, and you definitely don't want to touch your eyes. However, you might want to do a tiny bit of a skin test area just to make sure that you're not sensitive to either one of those oils. I tend to be a sensitive person and I don't react, but everybody's different. So again, just make sure you do a skin test in an area before you try it. When you do though, get behind your ears, in front of your ears, your temples as close to the hairline, even in the hairline if you can. The top, again, staying away from your eyes, and get it under your nose. You want to get it under your nose because as you're inhaling the scent, it does help to open up the blood vessels. Another thing that's really helpful that I used back when I was having the migraines and when I was transitioning from the AC&C was that I would use Feverfew. That's a really excellent herb for helping with migraine relief. And then there's tapping. Tapping is really helpful for pain relief. So when I have a headache, I just do a really, really simple one where I just tap on 6 points and thinking about the headache, I'm tapping and I just keep saying, let it go. In between the eyebrows, let it go. Under the nose, let it go. And you can repeat saying let it go as much as you want. You're going to tap fairly firmly in each point under the lip, tapping, let it go again, let it go, let it go, let it go. Center of the chest, let it go, let it go, let it go. And then you grab the wrist, peace, peace, peace. I just realized I skipped a point. Crown, eyebrows, under the nose, under the mouth, collarbone, as my necklace is there, on the collarbone, then the center of the chest. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, and then you grab the wrist firmly and say peace, peace, peace. And you're going to keep going through rounds of that until you feel the relief of the headache. So I hope that you find these helpful. That is one of the ways that I use. Sometimes I end up having to use all of them to get through a really, really wicked headache, especially at this time of year when we're in the seasonal shift. We got a lot of barometric pressure shifts happening. So in spring and fall, they tend to be headache seasons. So try these techniques. Hopefully they'll help you. And again, remember to breathe. So take care, namaste, and be well. By the way, if you want to work on something more in depth, I do teach EFT for deeper issues, and also something that's a technique that's used with the EFT for balancing out your emotions. So take care, namaste, please subscribe, and have a great day. Be blessed.